morning.
Good morning.
It's another Get to Connected sessions. Today is 13th of November 2002. September 2024. No, it's okay. Today we're going to talk about tax incentive from MIDAs. Okay, namely pioneer status and investment tax allowance. Okay, before we proceed, as usual, let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Koh Teck Peng. I'm a approved auditor and licensed tax agent from KTP. With me is Ms. Lim Wan Lian. She's the head of our customer care or customer relationship. Okay, so without due delay, let's bring out the topic. What is PS and what is ITA?
Okay, so today we're going to cover tax incentive. So as Mr. Koh mentioned just now, there's one we call PS, is pioneer status, stand for pioneer status. Another one is investment tax allowance.
Yeah.
In short, we call it ITA. So let me start with PS. So from the beginning, Mr. Koh mentioned it's an incentive. So basically, pioneer status is an incentive which given partial exemptions for the company from the payment of tax.
Yes. So basically, it's a tax-free lah.
Yeah, correct.
It's a tax-free lah. Okay, but there's definitely is a term and condition of
Correct. So the eligibility, the terms and condition, eligibility is given to the company who producing a product, or you are participating in an activity under the Promotion Investment Act 1986. So in short, we can say it's a manufacturing.
I see. It can be, I think, manufacturing. Put it this way. Okay.
Yes.
So I think first of all, as Ms. Lin had mentioned, is a promoted activity under the Promotion of Investment Act 1986.
Yes, 86.
So basically, if you feel you are involved in promoted activity, okay, please check with MIDA, or even go to MIDA office.
There's an appendix A. We will put in the link for you to refer to whether you are under that promoted activities.
Or you can call your tax agent or call KTP, something like that. Okay, so basically it covers a lot of promoted activity like manufacturing of wood-based like furnitures, manufacturing of motor vehicles, machineries, even machinery parts.
High technologies.
High tech, yeah, exactly. Okay, so of course, just now we mentioned is manufacturing. If you are involved in agriculture, as you know, I think somehow government also feel that this is part of the industry that the government very encourage. So my point is always think about manufacturing. Of course, it can't be a very simple manufacturing. So second is if you involve in high tech, definitely you may consider, right?
Correct.
Or third is if you are in agriculture, definitely you can try your chance. Okay,
Yes.
like nowadays, it's very famous is durian, right?
Correct.
Everyone is planting a durians. Okay, so let's move to what is the exemptions, thing like that.
Okay, so the company is will be enjoy 70% income tax exemptions on the statutory income. We call it, in short, we call it SI. Yes.
Okay, I think let me brief you the history of this incentive. We used to be the dragon, one of the dragon in Asia, right? So this is how we woo Japan, Korea investor into Malaysia, or Europe company or US company to invest in Malaysia. So somehow this is how government come up with these policies, incentive to encourage foreigners to come out to set up. I think in the old days you always see Sharp, Panasonic, Samsung, Okay, that time China haven't come out yet. I think this is 1970 or 80, thing like that. So this is one of the way to encourage people, to encourage foreigners to come into Malaysia to invest. And somehow, as time go by, Malaysia also changed the what they call mind to from foreign investor to local SME, even SME. I mean SME, not necessarily had to be multinational company. Okay, so in the past it used to be 100% totally exempted, but now I think streamline is 70%. Okay, major lah. Okay, how many years?
Okay, the period granted for this incentive under PS is 5 years, commencing from the production day, as determined by the Ministry of International Trades and Industry. In short, we call it MITI. So, how do you define the production day? According to MITI, this is the day its productions level reach up to 30% of its capacity or the first invoice.
I see. So let me explain the application. I think application we talk about later part. I think basically you always remember before you start productions or before you start the project, you need to apply to MIDA. Generally speaking, okay. So there's two stage. Normally it's a pre and
there's a
post. Okay, pre meanings before your project start or before you kick off the project. You need to apply in advance. Okay, once they assess, they will run through. If they get approval, then you have the post one.
Correct.
So normally it's look at the production days, right?
Yes.
30% of the capacities or the first invoice. Okay.
And then this exemption will able to extend to 100% tax exemptions over a period of 10 years if with conditions to be fulfilled.
It's term and conditions as I said, I think as we say early, normally it's 5 years. Okay.
Normally it's 5 years.
So whether it can become 5 plus 5 or from 70% to 100%, is everything is depend on term and condition, depend on
MIDA approval.
So normally I will advise that client or investors to talk directly with MIDAs, and then so that they understand it's not a straightforward thing. It's not that tough, difficult, I would say, but somehow it's a good habit to talk directly with MIDAs together with your agents.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay. So we're going to talk about pioneer status is, I would say, is that always client or investor come back to us is that what if I make loss?
Yeah.
Okay. For 3 years, okay, thing like that. Okay. So I think Ms. Lim will explain.
Okay, for those company, when we do the tax computation, they encounter unabsorbed loss or allowance during the pioneers period. It can be carried forward and deduct from the post pioneers status income. Then the cumulative losses is available for a period of maximum 7 consecutive years.
I see. So always based on my experience is of course when you come into investment, it's a good habit. Normally you come out a budget, right? So from the budget, we know the company is making profit or not on this project.
Correct.
So if it's making profit, definitely you will go for pioneer status.
Yes.
Of course, we will cover what is ITA later, investment tax allowance. For some company, the first few years may be losses, thing like that. Okay, of course, then it will carry forward for a maximum of 7 years, thing like that. Of course, there's another alternative which we will go later on ITA. Let's move on to how to apply.
Okay, so now MIDA put it in a simple way. Everything goes online, so you can log into the MIDA website on their online portal. So you are able to apply from the platform.
So everything is digitalized.
Correct.
Put it this way, even Malaysia. It's pretty straightforward. It's not straightforward, of course. You have to do
A lot of
calculations,
calculations
like that.
get involved. Yes.
Okay, so of course, pioneer status is mutually exclusive, right?
Correct.
What is mutually exclusive meaning?
If you claim PS, you are unable to claim ITA.
Or
So,
other tax
yes,
incentive.
correct.
So you only have one time of point. You can only enjoy one incentive. Okay. So next we move to investment tax allowance. As I say, some company first few years or even 5 years, the first 5 years, the company may making losses. One of the reason maybe this type of investment they require huge investment in capital assets, meaning they need to buy a big factory, expensive machines,
heavy
thing like
machineries. Yes.
something like that. So this is how I think ITA come about. ITA stand for Investment Tax Allowance. I think it's more for capital intensive
Industry.
Okay. So Ms. Lim, would you like to clear on?
Yes, it's same like PS. This investment tax allowance ITA is also an incentive. As Mr. Koh mentioned just now, this incentive is eligible for projects with capital incentive, means heavy machineries, factories, and then which in the first few years, the company do not expect to generate any profits in a short time. And then followed by the eligibility, also the same with pioneer status. It's available to the company involved in the promoted products or activity as well. Yes.
Okay, I think when it comes to dollar and cents, investors also want to know. I think pioneer status very clear cut is 70% of the income is exempted, right? Statutory income.
It's same as PS. There's a statutory 70% of the statutory income will be exempted. But before that, because the company invests in machineries, in the we so called capex, capital expenditure. So there's a first tier where it's eligible 60% of the capital expenditure. Then followed by the second tier is offsets again the 70% of the company's statutory income.
I see. Put it in layman terms, it's very simple. Let's say the company invests in
Machine.
1 million.
Yes.
Okay. The ITA will be computed something like 60% of your capital expenditure.
1 million.
So in this case, 1 million, 60% is 600,000. 600,000, of course, you may think that 600,000 you can set off against your statutory income. Sorry, we have to use substandard. Okay, so you put in profit now, okay? In layman term, okay? But in tax people, we call it statutory income. So no, go back to something like the general rule is always limited to 70% of your profit.
Yes.
So we will look at 60%, 70%. Okay? Period.
5 years.
Same year, same
5 years, but it's from the date first qualifying capex, from the date of the capital expenditure.
Okay. So same if unadopted your CA, how?
CA is allowed you to carry to next year until it's fully utilized.
Exactly. So I think more or less the same.
Yes.
Okay. So online application, I think is same as PS. So I think can we summarize and then we compare these two?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, in terms of the type, the PA is more on profitability, profit incentive, while ITA is more on capital expenditure intensive. Then followed by the second one, the commencing date for pioneer status is as what I mentioned just now, is based on the production day. And then for the ITA is the first day you incur the qualifying capital expenditure.
Okay, I think with that, I think more or less, let's summarize everything, okay? PS, profit.
Profit,
If the
correct.
company make profit. ITA, if the company make huge investment on plant machineries, factories, things like that. So always say 70% your come to PS is 70% of your income.
Statutory
Sorry,
income.
in tax term is we call statutory income. ITA
ITA.
also 70% on your capital expenditures. Okay, ITA lah. Okay, but it's limited to 60%. Okay, so with this, I think we thank you for your thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cole.
Have a nice holiday, long holiday.
Yeah.
Happy Malaysia Day. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.